On the school bus of a high school, Linji held a picture and seemed to be looking for someone. When she reached a boy, she stopped. After confirming that he was Gi Junhang, she excitedly ran up and hugged him. Junhang quickly pushed Linji away. Clearly they didn't know each other. However, it turned out that Linji was a new student who had transferred to Junhang's class. While arranging seats, the teacher saw that there were no other empty seats and told Linji to sit with Junhang. This made him very uncomfortable. After school, Junhang took Linji to get her uniform and textbooks. Because Linji had short legs, she ran out of breath but still couldn't catch up with Junhang. While they were talking, the school bell rang, and they rushed back to class but were still late. Teacher Z made them both go to the board and solve a math problem. Even though they solved it correctly, they were still punished by standing in the hallway because they were late. Linji kept talking in Junhang's ear. She couldn't stand still and kept trying to get closer to him. As a result, she lost her balance and fell, not only pulling Junhang down, but also tearing his shirt. Linji quickly apologized, saying that she just wanted to be friends with him. But Junhang didn't want to be friends with her. Unless the leaves fall up to the sky, the stars fall to the ground, and Teacher Z's wig falls off. He would never agree. During recess, Junhang and Jinang heard their classmates shouting, and when they ran over, they saw Linji downstairs using balloons to tie leaves and fly them up into the air. Linji proudly told Junhang that she had fulfilled the first requirement. She then pulled him into the equipment room and turned off the lights, asking him to close his eyes. When Junhang opened his eyes, he saw crystals in a jar that sparkled like stars in the darkness. Just like that, she had completed the first two conditions. However, the third condition was extremely difficult, and Linji begged Junhang to let her change to another condition. However, he was far from agreeing. The three conditions could not be missing even one. Unexpectedly, while they were hanging up a banner, Jinang and Zhang Yumian ran past each other and accidentally slipped, bumping into the two of them. The banner fell downstairs, landing right on Teacher Zhi's head. When Teacher Zhi removed the banner, he accidentally dropped his wig. Just like that, Linji successfully completed the three conditions. But because of this incident, Junhang and Linji were punished by standing in the hallway, holding the banner. Recently, rumors have spread around the school about Junhang and Linji. This made Junhang very uncomfortable, so he immediately went to the school's broadcasting room to clarify that he and Linji had no relationship. Linji was very disappointed when she heard this, but she still used the radio to express her apology for the trouble she had caused Junhang. She also spoke about many things she wanted to do with him in the future. She wanted to stay by his side forever, to be friends with him for life. Junhang quickly ran to the broadcasting room and turned off the mic. He wanted to scold her, but when he saw her crying, he stopped. He took his anger home, but to his surprise, he found Linji at his house. During dinner, Mrs. Gi kindly asked Linji if she had gotten used to her new school and told her to stay at their house for this semester. Junhang immediately pulled his mother aside and asked her about it. He didn't agree to let Linji stay at his house, but his mom said Linji's family was a distant relative, and they had helped their family a lot in the past. Linji overheard their conversation and remembered something her parents had discussed at home. Turns out, Linji's older brother was hit and killed by a car. Afterwards, Linji's parents decided to donate his heart to the Gi family's son. That night, Junhang was just finishing his shower when Linji suddenly opened the door and walked in, making him jump. Linji quickly apologized and ran to the kitchen to get some water. Junhang hurried to put on his clothes and go back to his room. While passing through the kitchen, Linji noticed he had his shirt on backwards. At night, Junhang had a nightmare where he dreamt Linji kept asking to be friends with him. He woke up frightening and went to the kitchen to have a glass of water to calm himself down. But through the reflection of the mirror, he saw a figure crouching next to the cabinet. Then, the figure suddenly stood up, making him jump out of his skin. He quickly turned on the lights, only to find Linji. Linji explained that she came downstairs for water and didn't want to disturb him, so she hid. Junhang didn't know how to respond and angrily took the wrong bottle of ketchup back to his room. The next day, Linji was just about to sit on the back of Junhang's bike when he told her to get off, saying she should take the bus to school. He also reminded her not to let anyone know they were living together. When Linji arrived at the school gate, she saw Liu Yin running up to ask Junhang for the English notes. When Linji entered the classroom, she noticed Liu Yin glaring at her. The following week, school officials would be visiting the class for an English lesson observation. Teacher Tan told everyone they needed to perform a short play and assigned Junhang to be in charge of the script. Junhang asked if anyone wanted to participate. Zinang and Jiang Yu Mian were the first to volunteer. Because Jun Hang was participating, Liu Yin also raised her hand, promising to cooperate well with him. Lin Ji, seeing this, also raised her hand to join. After class, they started to assign roles. When Liu Yin saw that Jun Hang was playing the white blood cell, she wanted to play the red blood cell because in the end, the white blood cell and the red blood cell would hug each other. Lin Ji was not going to let her get her way. She suggested that Ji Nang play the red blood cell, and everyone agreed. This made Liu Yin furious. To get revenge, after school she told Lin Ji that she had to practice the script in the gym that night. Lin Ji, though suspicious, still took the script to the gym and waited. Meanwhile, Mrs. Gi came back home with some late-night snacks and discovered Lin Ji wasn't home. Her phone still left in her room. Unable to bear his mom's nagging, Jun Hang had to ride his bike to find Lin Ji. Lin Ji was practicing her lines under the streetlight when she heard a strange voice. Then, someone dragged her behind the bushes. She was so scared that she bit the person. It turned out to be a guy named Chin Kai, a troublemaker in the school. He had been caught by security guards after sneaking out to play video games and climbing over the wall to return. They didn't want to be caught and punished, so they had to run away together. After a long run, they finally made it to safety. Chin Kai asked Lin Ji to meet him again and said goodbye. As Lin Ji reached the school gate, she saw Jun Hang coming towards her, and they went home together. He scolded her, saying that she should be more self-aware when she lives at someone else's house and shouldn't stay out so late. She followed him, talking non-stop. Jun Hang felt annoyed and told her to be quiet, saying she was talking too much. This made Lin Ji think of her brother, who had said the same thing. She asked Jun Hang to repeat himself, promising to stay quiet after that. He thought she was crazy and refused to repeat himself. The next day, Lin Ji started to get revenge on Liu Yin, making her the laughingstock of the class. She warned Liu Yin that she wasn't a little kitten to be bullied. On the day of the play, Xi Nang was so nervous that he got a stomachache and couldn't go on stage. In a crisis, Lin Ji changed into the red dress and appeared on stage. She worked together with Jun Hang to defeat the harmful cells and successfully finish the play. After school, Jun Hang asked Lin Ji why she remembered the red blood cell lines. She said she had planned to remind Xi Nang after she memorized them, but she was lucky that they actually came in handy. Jun Hang started to be disliked Lin Ji less after this, but just as she had gained a little bit of his favor, she ruined it all. As she rushed to catch up to his bike, she tripped and accidentally pulled down his pants. The bright yellow cartoon underwear made him embarrassed beyond belief. Back at home, he angrily decided to get rid of all his cartoon underwear. He was about to throw them away when he noticed two pairs hanging on the balcony. He opened the window to get them, but Lin Ji suddenly appeared behind him, making him jump and twist his ankle. All the underwear flew out. They went to the hospital together. As soon as they were done with the checkup, Jun Hang saw Lin Ji laughing with a young boy, and he thought they were making fun of him. He was furious. Seeing Lin Ji apologizing profusely and saying she would take responsibility, he deliberately told her his leg was very seriously injured and needed to be treated properly. From then on, Lin Ji became his 24/7 caregiver. The next day at school, Zinong announced that the whole class had to do community service. Lin Ji secretly asked Zinong if she could be in the same group as Jun Hang, and Zinong happily agreed. While handing out flyers, Lin Ji, worried about Jun Hang's leg, took on most of his work. At noon, the four of them had lunch together. Jiang Yimian absent-mindedly saw a notice about a lost cat. It turned out that an old lady had lost her beloved cat. The four of them saw the old lady's sadness and decided to find the cat first. But they searched for a long time without finding it. Just then, Jun Hang casually spotted the cat playing in a tree. Ji Nang, weak and frail, couldn't even climb halfway up the tree before he trembled and slid down. Jun Hang was about to get up to help, but Lin Ji quickly stopped him. She didn't know his leg was actually fine, so she volunteered to climb the tree to get the cat. Seeing her climb so high made Jun Hang nervous. He kept fidgeting, ready to jump in and catch Lin Ji if anything happened. When she finally brought the cat down safely, he sighed in relief. Looking at her happily holding the kitten, he couldn't help but smile. After returning the cat to the old lady, Jun Hang noticed a cut on Lin Ji's hand. So, on the way home, he pulled her down to a bench, disinfected her wound, and put a bandage on it. But he was still being sarcastic, saying she shouldn't risk herself for an old cat. Lin Ji, who loves animals, couldn't stand it anymore. She gave him a lecture, and then angrily walked away. Back home, Jun Hang knew he was wrong, so he went to Lin Ji's room to apologize. Hearing no reply, He pushed the door open and found Lin Ji fast asleep on the desk. Seeing her notebook with a list of things to do while being his caregiver, he gently covered her with a blanket and went out to clean up all the flyers by himself that night. The next day, Lin Ji found the flyers gone and wondered if there really was a snail fairy. Jun Hang said maybe it was a snail prince. Just then, a man came over and was about to put a flyer right in front of them. Lin Ji couldn't help but go up to him and argue with him. The two of them argued endlessly. The man got angry and even wanted to hit Lin Ji. Jun Hang quickly jumped in and kicked him, then pulled Lin Ji away and ran as fast as they could. They stopped to catch their breath after they had outrun the man. Lin Ji noticed how fast Jun Hang was running, even with his supposed injured leg, and wondered where his wheelchair was. Seeing this, Jun Hang started faking pain again, but he got it wrong. It was his other leg that was injured. Lin Ji was furious when she realized she had been tricked. She felt he was making light of his own health, but also taking advantage of her concern for him. Unexpectedly, Jun Hang said, "My health is none of your business. I'm not angry that you're upset. I'm making fun of my leg." Lin Ji was speechless. She kicked him and stormed off. From then on, Lin Ji changed her friendship strategy and switched to a cat and mouse approach. So she avoided Jun Hang and ignored him for several days. Jin Hang noticed the strange atmosphere between the two of them and told Jun Hang to take the initiative to appease Lin Ji. But Jun Hang arrogantly said he didn't care. After school, Jin Hang announced to everyone that the school would be hosting its 15 basketball tournament. Seeing Lin Ji's great interest in it, Jin Hang took the opportunity to assign her the task of signing people up. But Lin Ji even brought candy and snacks to class to bribe people, but no one signed up. However, when Jin Hang introduced Jun Hang, she ignored him completely. Then Lin Ji went to find Qin Kai and asked him to join their class's basketball team. But Qin Kai couldn't betray his own class and refused her request. Meanwhile, Jun Hang was biking home and saw a bubble tea shop. He bought a cup for Lin Ji, hoping to make up with her. But he saw her walking and laughing with Qin Kai, and he angrily threw the bubble tea in the trash and left. The next day, Lin Ji went to class and found very few people in the classroom. Just then, Zhang Yimian excitedly ran in and told her that the basketball team had been formed. Then she took Lin Ji to the basketball court to watch them practice. Lin Ji was surprised to find Jun Hang there, and he was the captain. The court was filled with the top students from the class, all showing off their skills, especially Jun Hang. Just then, Qin Kai appeared, bringing his class to compete for the court with Jun Hang. They argued without getting anywhere, so Jun Hang and Qin Kai ended up having a one-on-one match. Both of them scored 5 points in a row, making it difficult to determine the winner. The class bell rang, and Jun Hang yielded the court to Qin Kai. After class, at the water fountain, Qin Kai's team came back to cause trouble. A little later, Jiang Yimian and Lin Ji heard that students from both classes were fighting. In the principal's office, Principal Ji was angrily scolding Jin Hang and the others. Jun Hang stepped forward to explain that it was all a misunderstanding. It turned out that Jin Hang had lost his balance and ripped the shirt of the other boy, and he himself had fallen face first, causing a nosebleed. Since it was a misunderstanding, Principal Z demanded that they both hug each other before he would let them go. Later, Lin Ji saw Jun Hang practicing basketball outside the court, and she vaguely saw the figure of her brother. Jun Hang told her that if he won this time, he would consider her a friend. This excited Lin Ji so much that she immediately took out her phone to record, but Jun Hang chased her away so he could practice. Soon, the day of the game arrived. The 11 members of the team worked together and advanced all the way to the final. Competing against Qin Kai's class, 11-12, Jun Hang's class had a cheering squad of beautiful girls, which boosted everyone's spirits. The two teams were evenly matched, with neither willing to back down. But at a crucial moment, a player on 11-1 team had a work-related injury and couldn't play anymore. There was only a minute left in the game, and 11-1 didn't have any backup players. Qin Kai suggested that they should give up, saying there was no way they could win. But Lin Ji refused. She stepped forward and said she would play. With her small body, she quickly weaved through the opponents and got the ball. She remembered the crossover move her brother had taught her and confused the opponent, then threw the ball into the basket. Everyone was excited, but because Qin Kai scored an additional point in the last second, Lin Ji's class could only come in second. After the game, everyone went out to celebrate. Lin Ji suggested that they form a study group, and thus, the Dongmen squad was officially established. After everyone left, Lin Ji and Jun Hang went to have bubble tea. During their conversation, Jun Hang learned that Lin Ji had been ignoring him to get his attention. He immediately called her a kid. Suddenly, it started raining heavily. They had to borrow raincoats from the shop owner to go home. For the first time, Junhang gave Linji a ride on his bike. Even though they got wet, they were both very happy. Back at home, they stood side by side in front of the mirror and dried each other's hair, teasing each other. They even sat down together to drink ginger soup. Back in her room, Linji wrote in her diary. She realized that Junhang had no friends, so she decided to help him make some. The next day, in front of the school gate, Linji saw a girl in a ballet skirt come to find Junhang. She handed him a book she had bought overseas. Linji realized she was clearly trying to be friends with Junhang. After learning that Song Lin Shu had signed up to be a girl MC for the school anniversary, she encouraged Lin Hang to sign up to be a boy MC, but he immediately refused. However, Lin Ji went to Jiang Yimian and took the escort MC form to sign Junhang up. She wanted to help him and Song Lin Shu become friends. Jiang Yimian didn't understand why she was doing this, so she explained that after her brother passed away, he had donated his heart to Junhang. That's why she considered Junhang like her own brother. Jiang Yimian finally understood why she wanted to be friends with Junhang like that. Then, Lin Ji went to find Qin Kai and asked about Song Lin Shui. While talking, she accidentally found out that it was Qin Kai's birthday today, so she specially bought him a birthday cake in the evening. Qin Kai blew out the candles and then wished that he could celebrate his birthday with Lin Ji every year. Lin Ji really touched Qin Kai today. The next day in school, Lin Ji was surprised to find that Qin Kai had also signed up for him and her to be the MCs, because there were 3 pairs that had signed up. Each pair needed to film a video and upload it to the school website for people to vote. Since Song Lin Shui had to go abroad for a competition and wouldn't be back until the night of the gala, Lin Ji suggested practicing with Junhang. On Saturday morning, Lin Ji was reading the script aloud in the living room, waking up Junhang, who was fast asleep. As a result, she was scolded by him. But when she said she was going to find Qin Kai to practice, he quickly stopped her and took her to a bookstore to find inspiration for writing the script. However, Lin Ji racked her brains for a while, but couldn't come up with anything decent. Instead, she was mesmerized watching Junhang explain programming and couldn't help but admire his handsome looks. In the evening, Lin Ji wrote the script, remembering what Junhang had said, and wrote down her true feelings. The next day, she excitedly showed Junhang the script she wrote, but he said he had already filmed the video with Song Lin Shu from afar. After arriving at school, Jiang Yimian told Lin Ji that the number of votes for her and Qin Kai had been leading since the video was released. Lin Ji went to find Qin Kai and found out that his younger brothers had hacked the votes, but they had gone overboard. There were only over 2,000 students in the school, but they had hacked up to 3-0. Lin Ji and Qin Kai then went to Principal Z and voluntarily said they were willing to be disqualified. To punish them, he arranged for them to be the logistics staff for the gala. Soon, the gala officially began. Song Lin Shu and Junhang took on the role of MCs. When giving the opening speech, Junhang actually changed the original speech to the one Lin Ji had written. This surprised Lin Ji. She seemed to see herself and Junhang standing on the stage, and she couldn't help but feel a little loss. After the gala ended, everyone was leaving when the lights suddenly went out. Then, a spotlight from the roof shone directly on Lin Ji. At the same time, a cool-looking Qin Kai walked in front of her, because she had just said that Song Lin Shui and Junhang looked beautiful under the spotlight. He had specially prepared the surprise for her. Just as Qin Kai was about to confess his feelings, Principal Ji's voice suddenly came through. The students quickly left, and Lin Ji and Qin Kai were separated by a sea of people. Junhang took the opportunity to grab Lin Ji's hand and ran away. The next day, the school wanted to make a promotional book and needed to take photos and interview representatives from different fields. Because time was short, Jiang Yimian asked Lin Ji to help with interviewing Qin Kai and Junhang. However, during the interview, Qin Kai and Junhang were vying for Lin Ji's attention, constantly teasing and jabbing at each other. After the interview, Lin Ji had to go take pictures of Junhang and Song Lin Shui. She was very nervous when taking a picture of them together, constantly needing Song Lin Shui's reminders. But when she took pictures of Junhang alone, she was very professional. She helped him adjust his posture, expression, and everything. Junhang was stunned, looking at Lin Ji's chatty nature. Then, Lin Ji called Qin Kai over, and the 4 of them went to play in an escape room. Lin Ji and Qin Kai followed the horror adventure route, while Junhang and Song Lin Shui went on the intellectual route. The 4 of them solved the mysteries in their respective routes. Junhang and Song Lin Shui followed the clues to the chemistry lab, but they unexpectedly ran into a dead end. Song Lin Shu accidentally pressed a button on the wall, making Qin Kai and Jun Hang unexpectedly switch places. The four of them tried multiple times on either side of the wall, but nothing changed. Qin Kai and Song Lin Shu decided to give up and leave the escape room. Jun Hang, knowing he couldn't go back, pulled Lin Ji to the escape room. Lin Ji had intended to give up and leave, but Jun Hang challenged her, so she stayed and continued to solve the puzzle. After finding the clues and successfully figuring out the answer, the door next to them suddenly closed, and a bunch of zombies came out from nowhere. They hugged each other for protection, then used their phones to call out the answer. The answer was correct, and the door opened. Lin Ji pushed Jun Hang away and ran off in embarrassment. The next morning, Jun Hang and Lin Ji were just sticking their heads out of the door when they were caught red-handed by the group for living together. It turned out that Lin Ji had sent pictures to Jiang Yi Mian the night before, and accidentally sent a picture of Jun Hang. So, they kept asking about their relationship. Jun Hang said they were just roommates. Then Song Lin Shu came to find Lin Ji and asked her to help set up a date with Jun Hang for the New Year's Eve to watch a performance. Song Lin Shu would be going abroad for the next semester, so she wanted to celebrate the New Year's Eve with Jun Hang one last time. That evening, when she went home, Lin Ji hesitated, but still gave the ticket to Jun Hang. But he didn't like it, so he refused. New Year's Eve was approaching, and the school wanted to hold a bulletin board competition. Teacher Sun assigned this task to Jun Hang. Lin Ji saw this and volunteered to help him. Then she suggested that if their bulletin board won first place, Jun Hang could go on the date with Song Lin Shu. Jun Hang knew she couldn't draw, so he agreed. Sure enough, Lin Ji stood in front of the blackboard for a long time, but couldn't figure out what to draw, so she came up with a cunning plan. She went to peek at Qin Kai's class's ideas. She was caught by Qin Kai. Qin Kai wanted to stop Lin Ji from seeing it, but she stepped on his foot. However, once she saw it, Lin Ji's confidence immediately vanished. After school, Qin Kai drove his yellow Vespa and wanted to give Lin Ji a ride. She was about to put on her helmet and get on the bike, but Jun Hang suddenly appeared and insisted that Lin Ji get on his bike. Lin Ji was caught between two boys. Because she couldn't be in two places at once, she ended up cycling home, while Jun Hang rode with Qin Kai. That was so perfect. The next morning, Lin Ji went to class early to look for ideas for the bulletin board. When Jun Hang arrived, she was already exhausted and asleep on her desk. He quietly sat and looked at her sleeping face, thinking to himself that it was fine, even if they didn't win first place. Then he happily smiled. During chemistry class, Lin Ji saw Jun Hang doing an experiment and suddenly had an idea. She used rare earth fluorescent powder to draw the bulletin board with Jun Hang. After turning off the lights, they looked at the beautiful mid-autumn festival scene glowing on the blackboard. It was truly beautiful. The results of the competition were announced quickly. Class 11 won first place. Lin Ji's bulletin board was beautiful, but it couldn't have won first place without Qin Kai. He had sacrificed himself for love and changed his class's bulletin board into a pig's head, which resulted in a penalty. Even though she had successfully helped Song Lin Shu set up a date with Jun Hang, Lin Ji didn't understand why she wasn't happy. However, she still went with him to buy a gift. They went to a boutique shop. Lin Ji really liked a teddy bear hat. Jun Hang saw her excited look and smiled secretly, but he still sarcastically criticized her for having a unique taste. Lin Ji got mad and refused to choose anymore. She went outside to wait. On New Year's Eve, Jun Hang invited Lin Ji to go out, but she said she didn't want to be a third wheel and pushed him out of the house. Song Lin Shu waited for Jun Hang on the bridge. He brought her fresh flowers and wished her good luck with her performance. But it turned out that Song Lin Shu had lied to be able to spend the new year with Jun Hang. There wasn't any performance. Hearing this, Jun Hang immediately turned around to leave. Song Lin Shu quickly stopped him and confessed her feelings, but he frankly said that he only considered her a friend. Song Lin Shu understood him and didn't try to hold him back anymore. She watched Jun Hang's back disappear and couldn't help but cry. Meanwhile, Lin Ji was sadly eating hot pot by herself. Looking at the cheerful atmosphere around her, she felt incredibly envious. Just then, the first snow of the season began to fall. Lin Ji made a wish. Then just as she picked up her cup, Jun Hang suddenly walked up from behind and clinked his glass with hers. Jun Hang saw her dazed look and smiled. Then he took the teddy bear hat she liked out of his pocket and put it on her head. Then he pulled her out to play in the snow. But he only ran a few steps before he was too tired to breathe. Lin Ji asked what was wrong. It turned out that he had been running through several streets to find her and wanted to celebrate the first snow with her. In the midst of the snowfall, They looked at each other lovingly. They admired each other for a long time, and as a result, they had to go see a doctor because Lin Ji had a fever. That night, Jun Hang stayed by her side to take care of her all night. The next morning, Lin Ji woke up and found herself at home. She went to the living room and found out that Auntie Gi had brought them both home the night before. What's more, she had been holding Jun Hang's hand and sleeping all night. Lin Ji thanked him for taking care of her and said she would find a chance to repay him. Unexpectedly, the opportunity came immediately because Jun Hang had a fever of 38 degrees. After Auntie Gui went to work, Lin Ji took water and medicine to Jun Hang's room. She saw him fast asleep and couldn't help but put her ear to his chest to listen to his heartbeat. But she was caught by Jun Hang, who had woken up. She quickly said she was looking for her phone, even though she was holding it. Jun Hang couldn't help but laugh, seeing Lin Ji's flustered back. The next day, back in class, the group was excited to see them and gave Lin Ji their notes from the past few days. Lin Ji knew that the final exam might have questions outside of the syllabus, so she was very worried because she had promised her mother that she would get good grades this time before she could go home. After careful consideration, Jiang Yimian called the whole group to tutor Lin Ji. With everyone's help, Lin Ji did very well on the test and came in second in the class. This made her very happy. Since Lin Ji's math score was the lowest, according to the agreement, Jin Nong had to treat everyone to dinner. At the dinner table, Jin Nong asked everyone about their vacation plans. Jun Hang only then learned that Lin Ji was going back to her hometown tomorrow and felt a little sad. After dinner, they walked home together. Seeing that Lin Ji didn't want to go home yet and wanted to walk off her dinner, Jun Hang pulled her to the riverbank and played frisbee with her. Lin Ji was determined to win, and she ended up throwing her phone away. Fortunately, Jun Hang quickly grabbed her. Otherwise, she would have jumped in after her phone. Lin Ji was very regretful of losing her phone, while Jun Hang laughed at her misfortune. On the bus, Jun Hang was afraid that Lin Ji wouldn't remember his number, so he asked her to repeat it, but she misunderstood his meaning, spread out her arms and hugged him tightly. Jun Hang took the opportunity to hug Lin Ji back. He told her to take good care of herself during the winter break. When they got to the door of Lin Ji's house, they saw Song Lin Shui waiting for them. She wanted to talk to Jun Hang in private. After Lin Ji went into the house, Song Lin Shui told Jun Hang that Lin Ji's brother had donated his heart to his younger brother. Jun Hang was very surprised. Only now did he understand why she was so persistent about being friends with him. Song Lin Shui asked him if he was being friends with someone like Lin Ji to repay his debt. Just then, Lin Ji went outside to take out the trash and just happened to hear him say that he really hated her. In his eyes, she was a psycho. This broke her heart and she turned around and went into the house. That night, Jun Hang lay in bed tossing and turning, unable to sleep. Lin Ji also remembered his words and felt very sad. The next morning, Jun Hang knocked on Lin Ji's door, but she wasn't there. Auntie Gi told him that Lin Ji had just left. Jun Hang ran out immediately. Just then, Chen Kai arrived. So the yellow Vespa was immediately put into use. But in the middle of the road, the engine stalled. Jun Hang had to run to the bus station. He had just arrived when Lin Ji's car departed. They passed each other. After Lin Ji got home, she found her parents busy in the kitchen. She hugged her mother from behind, showing her affection. At dinner, Lin Ji's father saw his daughter's report card and was very proud. Then he asked about Jun Hang. Lin Ji felt uncomfortable and quickly ate a few bites of rice before running upstairs. Her parents had also bought her a new phone. As soon as she opened it, she saw a bunch of messages from Jun Hang, expressing his concern. But because she was still angry, she decided to ignore him. So Jun Hang had to call Zineng, and then planned to talk to Lin Ji through Jiang Yimian's phone. But as soon as Lin Ji heard his voice, she immediately hung up the phone. With no other choice, Jun Hang had to go find Jiang Yimian to ask for Lin Ji's address. Jun Hang soon showed up at Lin Ji's family's grocery store, but as soon as she saw him, she ignored him and didn't want to talk to him. They even almost knocked over the shelves while arguing. Just then, Lin Ji's father came in and saw them. Jun Hang immediately introduced himself. Of course, he was invited to play at Lin Ji's house. At dinner, Lin Ji's parents vied with each other to pick food for Jun Hang, ignoring their daughter's gloomy face. After dinner, Lin Ji's father invited Jun Hang to play basketball together. Jun Hang wanted to let him have the court, but he was defeated by his father's superior skills and ended up lying on the court. Exhausted, Lin Ji saw her parents' smiles and was happy in her heart. Jun Hang finally had a chance to ask Lin Ji why she was mad. Lin Ji said she had heard him tell Song Lin Shui that he hated her. Jun Hang quickly said she had only heard part of it, He had been praising her, but she hadn't heard that part. Moreover, there was something else that would disappoint her. His brother's heart wasn't in Junhang's body, but in his younger brother's body. That night, Linji was in her room, remembering her previous actions toward Junhang. She felt her head must have been stuck in the door. She was too embarrassed to face him. The next day, Junhang and Linji went out for breakfast. Linji said that after they finished eating, she would take him to the bus station. She also apologized for mistaking him for someone else and being stubborn about wanting to be friends with him. Junhang didn't need her apology. He just wanted to know if, without that heart, she would still be friends with him. He also asked if that heart were in someone else's body, she would still be kind to them like that. Linji hadn't had a chance to respond when Jinang and Zhang Yi Mian suddenly appeared. Because they had just arrived, Linji had to keep Junhang around, and then they all went out to play. Zhang Yi Mian asked Linji about her situation with Junhang. Linji then expressed her chaotic feelings. Zhang Yi Mian reminded Linji that, no matter what, Junhang really wanted to be friends with her. When they got to the lake, Linji answered the previous question. She had always considered him to be the shadow of her brother. If the heart were in someone else's body, she would still be kind to them like that. Junhang heard this and wanted to pretend that everything hadn't happened. They should get to know each other again. Get to know the real Gui Junhang, not the one who received her brother's heart. Linji looked at Junhang's outstretched hand, happily took his hand, and smiled at him. As soon as she got to class, Linji was called away by Chen Kai's underlings. He told her that Chen Kai was about to be held back because of his poor grades. He was crying his eyes out. At the same time, Chen Kai was hurriedly putting on makeup with his underlings. They were just waiting for Linji to come so they could perform. Then Linji arrived and really did see Chen Kai sadly crying. She told him, "Isn't it just being held back? Why are you making such a big deal out of it?" Chen Kai took the opportunity to ask Linji to tutor him. As long as his grades improved for the monthly exam, he wouldn't be held back. But Linji didn't agree directly. She just said that she would think about it. After school, Chen Kai came to find Linji with his books. She had agreed to tutor him. Junhang had intended to wait for Linji to go home, but he found out that she had moved into the dorm. Seeing Chen Kai's smug face, Junhang left angrily. The next day after school, Junhang wouldn't leave. He stayed to watch Linji tutor Chen Kai, but he saw Chen Kai pretending to be stupid so he could ask Linji a lot of questions. Junhang couldn't stand it and interrupted. Then the two of them started comparing their vast knowledge. Linji was powerless to watch this. She was too bored to talk and got up to leave. The two guys quickly followed her to the door of the girls' dorm. When Chen Kai was about to go back to the boys' dorm, he still saw Junhang following. He even said he wanted to take him back. Unexpectedly, when they got back to his room, Chen Kai learned that Junhang had also moved into the dorm, and he was even in the same room with him. This made Chen Kai furious. So, they made a bet. Whoever had the most improvement in their grades for the monthly exam would win. If Junhang lost, he would have to move out of the dorm. Because of their competitive nature, they even started a competition to see who got hit the most with the blackboard eraser. In the game of checkers, Junhang easily beat Chen Kai, causing Linji to smack him on the head with the blackboard eraser. But in the Rubik's Cube game, Junhang couldn't beat Chen Kai. He was slapped in the face. Refusing to lose to each other, they continued with a puzzle game. But the puzzles were all made up by Linji, so only God could solve them. As a result, Junhang and Chen Kai were both hit by the blackboard eraser. Chalk dust flew everywhere. However, they still weren't done competing. When these two guys went to take a shower, they started showing off and got too excited, ending up bumping into each other. Then, the next day, Linji found out that Junhang wasn't in class. It turned out that one of them had a sprained ankle, and the other one had a fever. Linji was asked by Teacher Sun to go to the dorm and give Junhang his medicine. When the two of them were on the phone, Chen Kai was listening in. As soon as he heard that Linji was coming, he ran faster than Junhang, even though he was limping. Seeing that they were both in the dorm wasn't a good idea. Linji suggested that they go to the medical room. Chen Kai took the opportunity and demanded that Linji help him walk before he would go. Junhang was annoyed and decided not to bother Linji. He carried Junhang to go faster. When they got to the room, they continued bickering. Linji had to yell at them before they would quiet down and sleep. Then Junhang told Linji that his younger brother was coming back from overseas. He asked if she was free on Friday. Linji, of course, agreed, because the boy was the one who received her older brother's heart. After the exam, Chen Kai went to the office to check the results. He was very disappointed when he found out that his improvement was 1 point lower than Junhang's and left. And when he went to class to find Linji, he found out that she had already gone to Jun Hang's house. On the way home, Lin Ji was very nervous because she was going to meet Lu Ji. When she saw him, she was so excited that she burst into tears. Today, Auntie Gi made a large spread of food. Everyone chatted happily together. Auntie Gi asked Lin Ji about her future plans. She said that she wanted to apply to Tsinghua University. In the evening, Chin Kai specially came to pick Lin Ji up, but he didn't take her back to the dorm. He took her to visit his grandpa. When they got there, Lin Ji discovered that it was the school's boiler room, and his grandpa was actually a fern. And this boiler room had been remodeled by him into a secret base. Chin Kai told Lin Ji that he liked plants because when he was a child, he was lonely and could only talk to the succulents in front of his house. After a while, Lin Ji wanted to leave, but Chin Kai wanted to stay there and not go back to the dorm. So Lin Ji agreed to keep his secret. She also told him to be careful so he wouldn't get caught. Unexpectedly, Lin Ji's mouth was really unlucky. The next day, Principal Z was taking a shower, but the hot water ran out. He went into the boiler room angrily, only to discover Chin Kai's secret base. He even saw him sleeping on the sofa. Principal Z demanded that this time, Chin Kai invite his parents to talk. If not, he would be expelled. Chin Kai went to the sports field to contact his father, but the secretary told him that the meeting wasn't over yet. This made him very disappointed. Just then, Lin Ji ran over, but Chin Kai still stubbornly told her that a little storm like this was nothing to worry about. Then, Lin Ji learned from Chin Kai's underlings that his father was very busy and basically had no time, and his mother had passed away when he was 5 years old. Looking at Chin Kai's lonely figure, Lin Ji thought about it. Then, she asked her friends to find a way to borrow a mother for Chin Kai. The only suitable person was Jun Hang's mother. Jun Hang originally refused to help, but he agreed when he heard that Chin Kai's mother had passed away. After school, he took the initiative to go find Chin Kai and said that if he wanted to borrow his mom, he had to wait for him to discuss it with his mom first. Chin Kai was very happy when he heard this. He immediately jumped on his motorcycle and hugged Jun Hang, following him home. As soon as they opened the door, Chin Kai hugged Auntie Gui and called her Mom. Jun Hang immediately pulled him away, saying he was overacting. Then, Jun Hang explained Chin Kai's situation to his mother. Auntie Gui felt that it wasn't a big deal, so she agreed without hesitation. Chin Kai looked at the happy atmosphere of Jun Hang's family and felt very envious. The next day, Auntie Gi dressed up fashionably and went to school. Principal Z told her that the school was considering expelling Chin Kai. Unexpectedly, she said, "That's perfect. I came here today to drop out my son." This shocked Principal Ji and Chin Kai. Principal Ji quickly changed his tone and begged Auntie Gi. He pleaded with her to reconsider and let Chin Kai continue attending school. Auntie Gi then pretended to be reluctant and said, "Fine, you've said so much. I agree." Then she left her phone number and left the office. When seeing Auntie Gi off, Chin Kai was very grateful. He even asked if he could visit her house when he was free. Auntie Gi happily agreed. Today, Jun Hang and Lin Ji were talking when money suddenly flew down from upstairs. It turned out that Jiang Yimian and Ji Nang were counting money upstairs and accidentally dropped some. Lin Ji returned the money she picked up to Jiang Yimian. She found out that the money was what she had saved to buy tickets to the music festival. Then, Jiang Yimian dragged Jun Hang, the master of typing, to the computer room to help her quickly grab tickets. He was truly a master. As soon as the tickets were on sale, Jun Hang bought them. Because Jiang Yimian was busy this weekend, she asked Lin Ji to help her borrow some music books. She wanted to bring her best musical skills to the music festival. So, the next day, Jun Hang and Lin Ji went to the library to borrow books. After choosing the books, they went to eat together. When they ordered their food, the server told them that if they bought 50 yuan worth of food, they could get a blind box of toys. Lin Ji saw the fox and rabbit keychains and loved them. She looked at Jun Hang with sparkling eyes. So he ordered 4 dishes for her to have her fill of opening the boxes. For the last box, Lin Ji finally got the fox and rabbit keychains. She happily wanted to give Jun Hang the rabbit keychain, but he said it was childish and refused to take it. Just then, Lu Ji appeared with his girlfriend, Wang Dong. Lu Ji wanted to ask for the keychain in Lin Ji's hand to give to Wang Dong. Lin Ji was about to give it to Lu Ji, but Jun Hang insisted on stopping her. He said he liked it now and wouldn't give it away. Lu Ji had to give up and left with Wang Dong. The next day in class, Jun Hang frantically called Lin Ji over and told her that the website for buying tickets to the music festival was fake. Jiang Yimian had been scammed. The whole group gathered to discuss what to do. They were afraid that if they told Jiang Yimian directly, she would be shocked and would think about doing something rash. Then they subtly hinted and suggested several times, even telling her directly. But Jiang Yimian didn't believe them. What's more, the tickets had been delivered, which made the whole group helpless. During self-study that evening, the power suddenly went out. After Principal Z went out, the class's tea party and gossip session officially began. Jinang went to sit next to Jiang Yimian and nibbled on sunflower seeds. Junhang took out his phone and covered himself, and Lin Ji with a blanket as they listened to music. How romantic. They talked about their future plans. Lin Ji said she wanted to apply to the medical school at Tsinghua University and asked Junhang what school he wanted to apply to. Junhang remembered that his father wanted him to study finance abroad, but he didn't want to go abroad at all. So, he told her he hadn't thought about it yet. Just then, Principal Ji quietly came back into the classroom and caught everyone red-handed. He confiscated everything that was unrelated to class. Even Jiang Yimian's music book was taken. Lin Ji and Junhang were still covered by the blanket and didn't react. Principal Z immediately walked down, lifted up the blanket to see what they were up to. Unexpectedly, they were shining their flashlights on the problems to solve them. He immediately praised them in front of the whole class. After Principal Z left the classroom, Jiang Yimian found her music festival ticket tucked inside the book. So, she hurriedly ran to find Principal Z, hoping he would return the book to her. Principal Z gave her a condition. She had to get 130 points in math on the next exam to get it back. The whole group advised her to forget about it this time. There would be another chance later, but she was determined. She asked everyone to tutor her. Jiang Yimian was late, getting back from studying. The whole group advised her to give up. Maybe losing the tickets would be a good thing. This made Jiang Yimian very upset. She believed that everyone's passions should be respected. She just wanted to go to a music festival. Why couldn't she do that? Seeing her crying and heartbroken, the whole group didn't know what to do. Lin Ji thought that it didn't matter if the music festival was real or fake. As long as Jiang Yimian was sincere, we should be there to support her. So, starting the next day, the whole group decided to study hard with Jiang Yimian. After the exam, Jiang Yimian scored 132 points. The whole group looked at her excited back with a heavy heart. She had worked so hard. What would happen when she found out the tickets were fake? They had to find a way to minimize the damage. Then, Jinang came up with a plan to form a band, but none of them knew how to play any instruments. When they were at a loss, Qin Kai poked his head out. Knowing the situation, he immediately called his professional friends to give them a demonstration of some basic techniques. But time was tight, and Lin Ji and the others didn't think they could reach that level. However, Qin Kai said that they were focusing too much on the form, while art only needed spiritual harmony. When they heard that, they understood. On the day of the music festival, Jiang Yimian excitedly said goodbye to her friends. But when she got there, she discovered that the tickets were actually fake, and there was no music festival at the stadium. Jiang Yimian was very disappointed. On the way home, she couldn't help but sit on the side of the road and cry. Suddenly, the lights in front of her brightened. Jiang Yimian found that it was the band, formed by her close friends, doing a street performance of her favorite song. Jiang Yimian was very touched and cried even harder. She didn't expect them to go to such lengths for her. Just as she was getting excited, a boy accidentally stepped on a wire. Then it was revealed that they were lip-syncing, but even that was enough to comfort Jiang Yimian a lot. She ran over and hugged her good friends. Then, Junhang also told Lin Ji that he wanted to apply to Tsinghua University with her. They happily smiled at each other. The next day, the whole group discussed their plans for the 12th grade. Zinang and Jiang Yimian were passionate about making money. They planned to expand their snack stand. Lin Ji wanted to apply for a winter camp at Tsinghua University. After school, Junhang told Lin Ji to wait in front of his company and said he would go inside to find his mom. Auntie Gi handed him the application for the business school that his father had sent, but he told her that he wanted to return to the provincial team and participate in the computer science Olympiad. He was going to try his best to get into Tsinghua University. Lin Ji saw Junhang leave sadly and thought that everything had failed, but actually, his mother had supported him. So Lin Ji was invited to eat ice cream. At the hurdle race, Lin Ji was invited to the sports field to cheer for Qin Kai. Hearing her enthusiastic cheering, Qin Kai successfully crossed the finish line and won the championship. After the award ceremony, they took a few pictures together as a souvenir. Qin Kai even gave Lin Ji his gold medal, thanking her for cheering him on. Then he told her that he would go to train in another province for about half a year. When he came back, he would definitely bring her a better gold medal. Lin Ji went back to the teaching building and saw Junhang sitting alone, looking sad. It turned out that he had left the team for 2 years. So, he couldn't solve the multiple choice questions, and he was rejected by the coach of the provincial team. Lin Ji looked at it and didn't know what language it was. All she could do was comfort him and asked him what he was going to do now. Jun Hang was very determined. If he couldn't solve it, he would still study. He would study until he could solve it. So from the next day, he studied day and night. He was obsessed with studying 24/7. Jun Hang tried too hard and became too tired. He was so sleep deprived that he even dozed off in class and was reminded by the teacher. At lunchtime, Jun Hang was still nodding off like a log. Ji Nang saw this and brought him black coffee to wake him up, but he became even sleepier after drinking it. Lin Ji even suspected if there was sleeping medicine in the coffee. Then, Jun Hang went to the bathroom to find Teacher Shu and asked him for another chance. He said that he had solved the problem from the last time. He had even solved the questions from the Olympiad for several years. The teacher could check them. But Teacher Shu said that Jun Hang's skills were far behind his requirements, so he refused and left. But when he got to the door, he was stopped by Lin Ji's group, who pleaded with him to give Jun Hang a chance. Teacher Shu had no choice but to give in to these bullies. He gave them a problem on the spot. After a while, Teacher Shu came out and said that he would think about it, but he was smiling like that. So Jun Hang probably had a chance. In front of the school gate, Chen Kai nervously looked at his watch and waited by the bus stop with 2 potted plants. Just then, his underlings ran over and said that Lin Ji wasn't in class. Chen Kai called her, but she didn't answer. Just as he was feeling disappointed in getting on the bus, Lin Ji came out. Chen Kai gave Lin Ji the 2 potted plants he had been raising in the boiler room. After getting on the bus, he reminded her to contact him. Lin Ji happily agreed. Jun Hang saw how close they were, and he felt very uncomfortable. The next day at school, Ji Nang and Zhang Yimian printed a bunch of flyers for their supermarket and went to distribute them all over school. Soon, they received a large order. They were excited to ship it, but they were caught by Principal Xi. So they ran in different directions, even throwing half of their possessions to Jun Hang and Lin Ji to run with them for fun. Jun Hang and Lin Ji ran up the stairs, exhausted. But the security guard was very dedicated to his job. He stubbornly chased them. But Ji Nang and Zhang Yimian weren't doing much better. They couldn't run anymore and decided to destroy all the evidence. They threw snacks as they ran, but they were still caught by Principal Zi, who pulled them back to his office. Fortunately, Jun Hang and Lin Ji had escaped the security guard. However, to completely clear their names, they decided to destroy the 2 bags of evidence by eating it. After they had their fill, they suddenly remembered the main thing and took out the notice they hadn't had time to read yet. Seeing that Jun Hang was added to the provincial team, they excitedly hugged each other. The next day, Principal Zi announced that there would be a test at the end of the month, with the ranking of results used to select students to participate in the winter camp. In the cafeteria, Lin Ji knew that she was the only one who signed up for this exam. She asked everyone why they didn't participate. Jun Hang told her that he was planning to get a direct admission spot on the provincial team. Zhang Yimian was still confused about what to do, because Jun Hang had to start training for the computer science Olympiad and couldn't participate in evening cultural classes. He often found Lin Ji to make up for his studies. In front of the dorm, Liu Yin saw how close they were and went over to intentionally bump into Lin Ji out of jealousy. The next day, Zhang Yimian invited Ji Nang to dinner and asked him to tutor her in math. It turned out that Zhang Yimian had met her childhood crush from next door. So, she wanted to apply to Jinghang University because he was the president of the student union at Jinghang University. Ji Nang asked her if she liked him, and she blushed. This made him leave angrily. Soon, the test results came out. Lin Ji and Jun Hang were both on the list to participate in the winter camp. They happily made plans to go to Jingzhou together. Just then, they were called to the principal's office to meet Principal Zi. It turned out that Liao Yin hadn't been chosen for the winter camp. She was angry and called her mother to accuse Lin Ji and Jun Hang of dating early, affecting her. She even took out the keyboard that Lin Ji was going to give Jun Hang as evidence. But Lin Ji gave her a lecture, silencing her and her mother. After they went out, Lin Ji gave the keyboard to Jun Hang and encouraged him to do his best. Then, Lin Ji and Jun Hang went to Jingzhou. 2 days later, Zhang Yimian also arrived. As soon as she got out of the train station, she talked to Lin Ji. When she turned her head, she found that Ji Nang was following her. She asked him why he was there. While talking, they didn't notice that Zhang Yimian's wallet had fallen out. So, she went to Jinghang University to look for her crush. At Jinghua University, after finishing her interview, Lin Ji went out the door and saw Jun Hang waiting for her. They decided to go around and feel the atmosphere of the university. While taking pictures of each other, Lin Ji saw the members of the drama club walk past, looking like 100 ghosts at night. It turned out that they had a cosplay activity today, with a dark theme. So, they sneaked in to take a look. Seeing the makeup room, they felt at home, and went in to put makeup on each other. After getting dressed, they ran out into the hallway to play. Just then, an upper-class woman suddenly appeared, making them jump. The upper-class woman asked them what year they were in. They weren't on the same wavelength, and they each answered in a different way. In the end, they admitted they were students in the next class, and were confident they would get into Jinghua. The upper-class women didn't scold them. Instead, they invited them to participate in the drama club's activities next year. That evening, when they left the drama club, Lin Ji suddenly received a call from Jiang Yimian. She cried and said that she had gone to look for her crush, but she found out that he already had a girlfriend. Just then, Zinang grabbed the phone and told Lin Ji that he was also there. They didn't need to worry. Jiang Yimian thought that no one liked her. Suddenly, Zinang said loudly, "I like you." They both looked at each other in shock, but Qi Nang was just being loud. He quickly corrected himself, saying, "Among our group, who wouldn't like you?" Hearing Zinang's comforting words, Jiang Yimian finally smiled happily. Meanwhile, Lin Si was checking her written exam answers. She found out that she had gotten the last big question wrong. She was very frustrated. Junhang comforted her and gave her the lucky charm necklace he was wearing. Lin Ji happily accepted it. The 100-day countdown to the college entrance exams began. The school organized for everyone to run 800 meters every morning to ensure the quality of their studies. They also extended the self-study session by half an hour. What's more, there were thousands of rules. Everyone ate like hungry tigers during mealtimes, but they were sleepy during class because they had to stay up late studying. The real fight for survival was shower time. Classes ended at 10:30 p.m., and the showers closed at 11:00 p.m. As soon as the bell rang, everyone ran like they were being chased by ghosts to get to the shower on time. Anyone who was late and missed the hot water had to take a cold shower. Jiang Yimian and Lin Ji caught a cold because of this and kept sneezing. Her crush was sick, so Junhang decided to gather his 4 superhero brothers and launch a shower freedom operation. After calculating the plan, they immediately divided up their actions. Chenmo sneaked into the surveillance room and tricked the security guard there to leave. Yunlang took advantage of the security guard's sleep to steal the key to the boiler room. Junhang went to the front of the shower room. While the cleaning lady was busy watching a video, he took her phone and reset the time. Zinang went to the broadcasting room to signal everyone to take a shower. Those who got to shower were happy, but those who were playing tricks were being scolded by Principal Ji. He made them all run around the sports field. Every lap, he would ask if they had learned their lesson, but the answer was still no. Just then, Jiang Yimian and Lin Ji found out what happened and ran over. They begged Principal Ji to forgive them, but they couldn't. So they joined in and ran with the others. In the end, Principal Z gave in and decided not to punish them anymore. He even extended the shower time by half an hour. Everyone was very happy to hear this news. The next day, Auntie Yi announced to Junhang that he had received an acceptance letter for the business school. So, he decided to go home and meet with his father. He would tell him directly that he didn't want to study business. He wanted to stay in the country and study information technology at Jinghua University. But his father firmly refused. The two of them argued without reaching a conclusion. In class, everyone made a wish tree on the blackboard and stuck their goals on it. Junhang hesitated for a while, but in the end, he still stuck his goal on it, Jinghua University. Just then, someone shouted that the athletes were back from training. Lin Ji happily ran to the school gate to greet Chen Kai, only to find him getting out of the car with crutches. It turned out he was injured on the day of the competition, so he didn't get any results. Lin Ji saw his dejected look and advised him to take good care of his injury. There were still many opportunities. In the dorm, Lu Yin told Lin Ji that someone was looking for her downstairs. When Lin Ji went downstairs, she was surprised to find Auntie Gi. She thought that Junhang had given up studying business abroad and wanted to apply to Jinghua for Lin Ji's sake. So, she came to talk to her. She felt that the business school was Junhang's dream, and now he was impulsively wanting to change his mind. So she asked Lin Ji to help her persuade him. Lin Ji then went back to class, like a lost soul. She saw Junhang mopping the floor and started a pointless argument, saying that she didn't want to apply to Jinghua University anymore. It was boring that so many people wanted to go to Jinghua. Junhang realized from Lin Ji's words that his father had gone to see her. He thought she would stand on his side. Unexpectedly, she was siding with his father to persuade him. Lin Ji replied, Whoever has reason, I'll stand on that person's side. If going to Jinghua together affected his choices, then she would help him get rid of it first. After saying that, she ripped her goal off the wish tree and left. Junhang went dejectedly to the sports field. He wanted to text his father, but he didn't know what to say. Suddenly, he saw Chin Kai, who was limping but still practicing running. He ran down and pulled him over, and the two of them rode his yellow Vespa for a breath of fresh air. By the lake, Junhang told him his situation and asked Chin Kai for advice. Chin Kai advised him to just be himself. Back at school, Junhang saw Lin Ji, but didn't even talk to her. Chin Kai immediately knew that they were fighting, but that made him even happier. Then, Lin Ji took out her homemade chocolate gold medal to comfort Chin Kai. Chin Kai was very happy. He thought this was the best gold medal he had ever received. The next day, Zhang Yimian suddenly ran over with a piece of paper, saying that something had happened to Jineng. Everyone read it. It looked like a suicide note. They were afraid he had become depressed because of the pressure of the college entrance exams. So they quickly ran to the mountain behind the school to look for him. The four of them searched for a while, but couldn't find him. Only Lin Ji picked up a shoe. This made everyone even more worried. Zhang Yimian was even crying. Just then, Xinang appeared. Zhang Yimian excitedly ran over and hugged him. It turned out that Jineng heard that there was a very sacred stone lion on the mountain, so he wanted to go up there to pray for good fortune. So, they all went to look for the stone lion, but they searched for a long time and couldn't find it. Seeing that it was getting late, they were about to leave when they saw its head peeking out of the grass. They were already there, so they all took turns touching its head to pray. When they were going down the mountain, they saw Lu Yin about to do something rash and quickly stopped her. It turned out that her mother forced her to take medicine. She forced her to get high scores, and no matter what she did, her mother wasn't happy. Everyone was very sympathetic and took turns comforting Lu Yin. They also stood by the cliff and shouted out their dissatisfaction with their parents. Coincidentally, several parents who had found their children missing came to look for them. They just happened to hear their children's inner thoughts and quietly went behind them. On the way home, Junhang told his father that he was no longer a child. He could make his own decisions and take responsibility for his life. Auntie Yi saw her son so determined about his choice and finally agreed to let him apply to Jinghua. The day before the college entrance exams, Teacher Sun appeared in a red cheongsam, reminding everyone of things to keep in mind during the exam and wishing everyone a better future. The college entrance exams officially began. Everyone worked hard on their exams for their dreams. With only the English exam left, Lin Ji received news that her father had been hospitalized after being injured. After the exams ended, everyone threw their materials away to celebrate and end the exhausting period of studying. But Lin Ji and her mother were anxiously waiting in front of the emergency room. Fortunately, the surgery was successful and her father was out of danger. After being discharged from the hospital and returning home, Lin Ji was cooking with her mother when someone knocked on the door. It turned out that Junhang had brought Lu Ji to visit. Lin Ji's parents were excited to see Lu Ji eating. The boy's appearance made the grandparents even happier. That evening, Junhang and Lin Ji sat on the basketball court together, eating watermelon. Junhang asked Lin Ji about her plans. She said she would go back to high school and study for another year before taking the exam again, because the first year involved military training. Before leaving, the group made plans to get together with Lin Ji. Lin Ji held back her sadness and congratulated her friends on achieving their goals. She hugged them for luck. They would be separated tomorrow, so they decided to have a blast today. After feeling tired, everyone got into taxis and left one by one, leaving only Junhang and Lin Ji. On the way, Junhang took out the Jinghua University acceptance letter and gave it to Lin Ji, saying that it was hers. But of course, it was a super fake. Junhang took Lin Ji to the bus station and couldn't help but hug her. He told her to remember to contact him. He would be waiting for her at Jinghua University. They reluctantly said goodbye to each other. The next day, Lin Ji went to school to re-enroll. The classes would be managed militarily. They would only get 2 days off each month, and their phones would be confiscated. Lin Ji thought she would be fighting alone, but she unexpectedly met Chin Kai there. She asked him in disbelief if he hadn't been admitted to the sports school. He said that his father didn't approve of that school, so he could only enroll and take the exam for another school. So, the two of them formed a re-enrollment team. At Jinghua University, Junhang accidentally met Wei Mingya, the upperclasswoman he met before. She invited his group to join the drama club. Because they weren't already in a club, they agreed. Today is the day to receive cell phones, so she immediately called Junhang. They chatted happily, telling each other about their recent lives. Hearing Junhang say that many girls had asked for his WeChat, Lin Ji felt jealous, but she pretended not to care. Junhang then said that she could rest assured he wouldn't like any other girl, no matter how good they were. He only wanted to date the underclassmen from the medical school. They chatted happily until 7 p.m. and then reluctantly hung up the phone, promising to talk again next month. On Junhang's birthday, Lin Ji bought a cake and went to the computer room to call him via video chat to wish him a happy birthday. But he didn't answer several calls. It turned out that the drama club members were celebrating Junhang's birthday. Lin Ji waited until the candles were almost burnt out, but still couldn't get through to him. Just as she was about to text Junhang, she unexpectedly saw a picture of him and Wei Mingya on her friend's Moments. She sadly blew out the candle and left with the cake. Qin Kai comforted Lin Ji, saying that it was just a normal social interaction. But when he borrowed another student's phone to call Junhang, Wei Mingya answered. Lin Ji felt even more heartbroken. When Junhang picked up the phone, he saw that Lin Ji had missed his calls several times and immediately texted her. On the sports field, Lin Ji took out the cake she had carefully prepared. As she ate, tears streamed down her face. From that day on, Lin Ji didn't answer Junhang's calls or texts. Quickly, 3 months passed. The school specially invited outstanding graduates from the previous year to encourage the re-enrolling students before the exam. Lin Ji didn't expect Junhang to be the one who came. Seeing his familiar face that she hadn't seen in a long time, Lin Ji couldn't help but stare blankly. After the forum, they stood in the hallway, unsure of what to say. Junhang asked Lin Ji why she hadn't contacted him during this time. She lied and said that she was busy reviewing and taking exams. They hadn't contacted each other for a long time and didn't know each other's recent situation. They felt a little distant. Lin Ji said that they weren't in the same place, so they couldn't be on the same wavelength anymore. Just then, Qin Kai came over and pulled Lin Ji away. Junhang quickly followed and reminded her not to forget their promise. 3 months after the college entrance exams ended, Lin Ji was admitted to Tsinghua University and received her acceptance letter. At the freshman orientation, the group came to the school gate to greet Lin Ji and reserved the best barbecue restaurant in Jingzhou to welcome her. Just then, Qin Kai came running with his luggage. It turned out that he had been admitted to the sports university right next to Tsinghua. They made plans to hang out together when they had time. At the barbecue restaurant, everyone gathered, but Junhang was late. Lin Ji listened to them talk about their love stories and said, "It seems like if I don't date, I'll fall behind everyone." Jiang Yimian teased her. "It's easy for you to escape the pressure to find a partner. We're still waiting for you and Junhang to hand out candy." Lin Ji immediately asked back, "Why does it have to be Junhang? Can't I like someone else?" Unexpectedly, Junhang, who had just walked in the door, heard this. He turned around and left sadly. The party ended. Jiang Yimian asked Lin Ji if they were in a cold war. Lin Ji said that she and Junhang had missed each other for a year, and everyone would change. Junhang might already like someone else. She felt that he treated Wei Mingya differently. Jiang Yimian said, "That's impossible. They're just in the same club." To prove her point, she immediately dragged Lin Ji to watch them rehearse. Unexpectedly, Junhang and Wei Mingya were rehearsing a romantic scene. Jiang Yimian quickly said that it was just a plot in the script, but Lin Ji saw them hugging and felt very heartbroken. What's more, after they finished rehearsing, they made plans to meet at the same place, causing Lin Ji to leave sadly. The next day, Ji Nang was distributing flyers for the Escape from the Pressure to Find a Partner event. Unexpectedly, Jiang Yimian appeared and signed up for her and Lin Ji. Ji Nang immediately went to find Junhang and told him that Lin Ji was participating in the event. At 4 p.m., the group worked together to prepare the event site. Junhang was making drinks at the reception desk, watching Lin Ji sit by the window. Just then, a male student came to talk to Jiang Yimian. They chatted happily and were about to add each other on WeChat. Ji Nang quickly ran out and claimed her. He quickly pulled Jiang Yimian away. They argued loudly in the kitchen. Jiang Yimian blamed Ji Nang for only caring about making money and not caring about her. Ji Nang then told her that he made money because he wanted to take her to the music festival. Knowing the truth, Jiang Yimian immediately hugged her boyfriend and apologized. Then, Jiang Yimian went out to apologize to Lin Ji. She said that she couldn't participate in the event with her today. At this time, Shen Bengwu, a talented student in finance from Tsinghua, was playing the piano passionately. He was a playboy who liked to flirt with female fans online. Seeing that he was flirting with Lin Ji, Junhang got furious and ran out, but a girl stopped him and asked to be friends. They each sat at a separate table, but their eyes kept meeting. They even ate cake to irritate each other. Linji couldn't stand it anymore. She got up and said that she wanted to get some bubble tea and left. But Shen Bengwu stopped her. He said he knew how to make bubble tea. He made a cup of wine and gave it to her. Seeing that Linji drank 2 cups, Junhang couldn't help but rush over and drink the rest of the cup. Then, he specially made a big cup of wine for Shen Bengwu. The two of them competed with each other to drink. Just then Linji was drunk and almost fell. Junhang quickly caught her and shoved Shen Bengwu away. Seeing this, he had no choice but to leave. Then, Junhang carried Linji home. But she kept struggling on the way. He had to put her down. Linji told him the story of the fox and the rabbit, implying that she had finally met him. But she found out that he had changed. Junhang couldn't help but talk about his long year of waiting. He also expressed that he always wanted to be with her. Unexpectedly, Linji said that she didn't like him anymore. She even took off the Lucky Charm necklace and gave it back to him. She didn't need it, and she didn't need him anymore. But even though Linji cried and said she didn't need him, Junhang still carried her back to the dorm. Just then, Chen Kai ran over, and the two of them went to a convenience store to eat instant noodles. Junhang wanted to find evidence that Shen Bengwu was a playboy, so that Linji could stay away from him. So he created a fake account, pretending to be a little kitten to flirt with him. Sure enough, the fish quickly took the bait. The two guys stayed up all night fishing, and finally got their catch. The next morning, as soon as Linji came out of the dorm, Junhang showed her screenshots of their conversation from the night before. Unexpectedly, Linji got angry, saying this was her business, none of his, and he shouldn't interfere in her life. After that, Linji went to class, and Junhang followed and sat next to her. In class, the teacher was talking about human anatomy and wanted to choose a student as a model. Linji stood up and nominated Junhang. Junhang had to go up to the podium. The teacher asked him to take off his shirt and stand in front of the screen so he could explain. Junhang was already very embarrassed, but Linji even took out her phone to take pictures. After class, Junhang asked Linji to delete the pictures, but she sent them directly to the group chat of her close friends. Seeing Junhang going to school with Linji, they teased him about chasing his wife. This made Linji blush. Just then, Wei Mingya ran over and pulled Junhang away. Linji wanted to ignore it but couldn't help but follow, to listen to what they were saying. She heard Wei Mingya say that she entrusted her happiness to Junhang. Linji was very upset and quickly left. Junhang finished talking, but Linji was gone. He chased after her and saw her going into a coffee shop with Shen Bengwu. So, he shamelessly went in and sat at the same table with them. And when Linji went to get a drink, he warned Shen Bengwu not to have any ideas about Linji. Otherwise, his chat logs with the little kitten would be published for everyone to see. Shen Bengwu could only leave angrily. At this time, Linji came out. Knowing that Junhang had chased Shen Bengwu away, she was very angry. It turned out that she was only looking for him to sign up for driving school. While they were arguing, they both received calls from Zhang Yimian. The two of them were arguing and breaking up. That evening, Junhang and Linji met up to relay messages on behalf of Zhang Yimian and Xineng. But after talking for a while, they started arguing loudly. They didn't know if they were relaying messages or expressing their thoughts about each other. In the end, they both got angry and left. Junhang was even blocked by Linji. Through Xineng, he found out that Linji would be practicing driving tomorrow, so he decided to follow her. Seeing Linji clumsily driving, the three people in the car couldn't help but sweat. They might die at any time. Junhang was talking nonstop beside her, making Linji annoyed. She pulled him aside and questioned him. "Did you come here to learn how to drive or to be a driving instructor? Are you here to watch me make a fool of myself?" Junhang said he came because he cared about her and liked her. But Linji didn't believe him. She thought that he was saying he liked her, but he was having a close relationship with Wei Mingya. He even said he'd be responsible for her happiness. Junhang seemed to understand the problem, and immediately pulled her to see what Wei Mingya's happiness was. It turned out that Wei Mingya was preparing a special surprise to propose to her boyfriend. The misunderstanding was cleared up. Linji awkwardly found an excuse to leave, but Junhang stopped her. He said, "You've misunderstood me for so long, and you don't have anything to say?" Linji said, "It's not entirely because of her. When you went to college, you were constantly learning new things, moving forward. I'm stuck in the same place. Maybe we don't have anything in common anymore." Junhang immediately refuted her. He said, "We are both working hard to get closer to each other. I hope you can trust me a little more." Then, he confessed his feelings. "Would you agree to be my girlfriend?" Linji was a little surprised, but she finally nodded and agreed. They hugged each other happily. Jun Hang also put the Lucky Charm necklace back on Lin Ji. Just then, Qin Kai ran over. Seeing their happy picture, he could only leave in loneliness. Now that they are dating, Lin Ji and Jun Hang didn't show any intimacy in public. Jun Hang often had to be a model for Lin Ji to practice on. At this rate, he'd be dead before Lin Ji became proficient. During the holiday, Lin Ji and Jun Hang planned to go on a trip alone, but suddenly, their friends appeared and insisted on going with them. Lin Ji and Jun Hang were visibly unhappy. Lin Ji even asked if there was a way to make these light bulbs disappear forever. They tried a different strategy. After arriving at their destination, Lin Ji and Jun Hang wanted to separate from everyone. So they suggested that everyone split up. Unexpectedly, Jiang Yimian insisted on being in the same group as Lin Ji. Jun Hang had no choice but to be in a group with Zinang. Their escape plan failed, so they thought of a way to make Jiang Yimian and Jinang reconcile. Lin Ji and Jun Hang hid behind a wall and watched, happy for them. Just as they were about to kiss, they were interrupted by Chen Mo and the others. At night, everyone slept in tents. Jun Hang looked at Lin Ji's sleeping face and couldn't help but gently kiss her forehead. Then, he quietly went outside. Lin Ji felt Jun Hang's movement and couldn't sleep anymore, so she went outside to wait for dawn. The next morning, Jun Hang and Lin Ji watched the sunrise together. Lin Ji couldn't help but take the initiative to kiss Jun Hang. Finally, no one interrupted their first kiss. They were having fun when Auntie Gui called, announcing that Lu Ji had something wrong. Lin Ji and Jun Hang quickly rushed home. It turned out that Lu Ji had run away to play soccer with friends. He had sweated a lot, causing him to catch a cold. Looking at his younger brother lying there, Jun Hang wondered if there was anything that could monitor Lu Ji's health at any time. A year later, Lin Ji and Jun Hang saw a poster for a startup competition. Lin Ji thought this was an opportunity and reminded Jun Hang that he could try making a heart monitor. So Jun Hang began to supplement his knowledge of cardiac medicine, attending classes with Lin Ji. He even asked teacher Wang for further guidance after class. Knowing that they wanted to make a heart rate monitoring bracelet, teacher Wang introduced them to a multidisciplinary expert, Professor Chen. They followed the address and went to Professor Chen's house, but he thought they just wanted to embellish their resumes. So before they could finish speaking, he immediately closed the door. However, they didn't give up. In the following period, they went to find Professor Chen every day. Sometimes they brought him breakfast. Sometimes they helped him take out the trash. And they even gave him a cactus. One day, when they went again, they found the door open and went in to find the professor mopping the floor. They immediately helped rescue the wet documents on the floor. Suddenly, Professor Chen received a call and had to go to the lab. They told him to relax and that they would help him clean up. When Professor Chen returned, he found the documents drying and the two of them already asleep. Finally, their efforts paid off. He kept them for dinner. Then, Professor Chen asked them why they wanted to make the bracelet. Jun Hang told him that his younger brother had heart problems, so he wanted to make a medical bracelet that could monitor heart data 24/7 and detect danger in time. Professor Chen listened and told them to bring their questions next time they came. This made them very happy. In the following days, Professor Chen explained to them the knowledge related to the bracelet. Finally, with Jun Hang's continuous improvements, the bracelet was able to display an electrocardiogram, but there was still a slight difference from the monitoring machine. The professor told them to make the bracelet first and then gradually upgrade it. After that, the first generation of the bracelet was finally born. Lin Ji knew that Jun Hang needed guinea pigs, so she let her close friends be the first test subjects. They all went to the amusement park together to ride roller coasters and record their heart rate data. After they were done, it suddenly started to rain heavily. Everyone said goodbye and left in different directions. Because the tunnel ahead was flooded and the car couldn't pass, Jun Hang and Lin Ji had to stay in the opposite homestay for the night. Unexpectedly, there was only one room left. At night, Jun Hang tossed and turned on the sofa, unable to sleep. He got up to turn off Lin Ji's phone, but he accidentally slipped and fell onto the bed. Lin Ji woke up startled. He pretended to take a pillow and went back to the sofa. At this time, Lin Ji's heart rate quickened, and the bracelet sounded an alarm. She panicked and quickly covered herself with the blanket, feeling embarrassed. On the day of the startup competition's preliminary round, Zheng Yimian and Lin Ji rushed to the scene. They learned that Jun Hang and Zinang had been interviewed for a long time and hadn't come out yet. Then, they came out. Jun Hang said that while his plan still had many flaws, it had passed the preliminary round. Jinang's plan was novel, but it didn't pass. They were happily preparing to go eat when Professor Chen suddenly called Jun Hang over and told him and Lin Ji to prepare themselves for the next round. He added that if they wanted to go all the way, Relying on just the two of them wouldn't be enough. They had to have a team that trusted each other and cooperated well. Hearing this, the whole group looked at each other and smiled, as if they understood each other silently. Thus, the Dongmen Startup Squad was officially formed. Jun Hang told everyone to start preparing for the midterm exams, and they assigned tasks to each other. Lin Ji and Jun Hang were in charge of market research for the user group. They planned to go to the cardiothoracic surgery department of the hospital and have patients and family members fill out questionnaires to understand their needs for the bracelet. But they were mistaken for hospital scalpers and detained by security. To make matters worse, none of them brought their student IDs or identity cards, so they couldn't prove their identities. So, they took advantage of the security guard's distraction and escaped. While everyone was busy starting a business, Qin Kai had gone to the Olympics and returned with a gold medal. He wanted to make plans with Lin Ji to give her the gold medal. Unexpectedly, she brought Jun Hang along. So, Qin Kai stood in front of Jun Hang and snatched Lin Ji away. Then, Qin Kai put the gold medal on Lin Ji. Not wanting to have any regrets, he decided to confess his feelings to her. Lin Ji tactfully refused him. She said that she would always remember that at the most beautiful age of youth, there was a boy who had sincerely liked her for so long. It was because of that feeling that an ordinary person like her was surrounded by a beautiful aura. Qin Kai understood what she meant. He said that they would always be good friends. Lin Ji stepped forward and hugged Qin Kai. They both had tears in their eyes. After this hug, Qin Kai had to let go of his unrequited feelings. The beautiful memories between them would forever be unforgettable. Then, Lin Ji went back to find Jun Hang and threw her arms around him, hugging him tightly. The Dongmen Startup Squad kept arguing over various problems, so Jun Hang used his remaining funds to buy popcorn for everyone and announced that the Startup Squad was officially disbanded. He didn't want starting a business to become a burden on everyone. The medical bracelet was just his dream, so he had no right to take away their time and happiness. However, during the semi-finals of the startup competition, the whole group still went to the competition with Jun Hang and Lin Ji to prepare for the interview, helping Jun Hang realize his dream. After presenting their plan, the whole group went outside and excitedly shouted because they had made it to the next round. Jun Hang had also received the key to the startup zone. They decided to go take a look. When they got there, they found that the office was very messy and lacked many supplies. So, they immediately split up to collect loot and bring it back to decorate their office. After they were done, they celebrated Christmas together and happily talked about their memories from high school. Time flew by quickly. There was only 1 month left before the startup finals. Yunling said that Shin Beng-woo's group had also entered the startup zone, and they were researching a smart sports bracelet, the same kind as theirs. Jun Hang said that he was confident that he could beat Shin Beng-woo. Today, in the office, Jun Hang was explaining the research results to everyone. Shen Beng-woo passed by from outside and couldn't help but stop and peek. Then, he pretended to borrow the printer and went in. He accidentally saw the startup plan for the medical bracelet and secretly took it. At the startup competition finals, Jun Hang's group was waiting for their turn when Xinang suddenly panicked and told them that, while passing by the meeting room, he heard that Shen Beng-woo's plan was exactly the same as theirs. At this time, Shen Beng-woo also arrived, smugly mocking them a few words before leaving. Jun Hang said that they could only take it as it came. We'll just have to see what happens. In the barbecue restaurant, only Jun Hang was eating quietly. Everyone else had no appetite. Just then, Shen Beng-woo and his group came in to ridicule them. Lin Ji stood up and asked him why he copied their idea. Clearly, he was doing a sports bracelet, but right before the finals, he switched to a medical bracelet. How could he do that in just a few days? But Shen Beng-woo immediately denied it. He said, "What's the point of arguing back and forth here? Winning is the only thing that matters. Winning is the only way to be legitimate. The loser is the one who's copying. Besides, this idea is Jun Hang's and he's still eating meat. What are you all jumping up and down about?" Jun Hang, sitting on the side, couldn't hold back anymore. "Fine, you want to go there? I'll show you what's up." He couldn't win in a verbal battle, so he used force. As a result, the whole group had to drink tea at the police station. Leaving the police station, Jun Hang told Shen Beng-woo, "You think you can copy an invention that took me a year to make in just 2 or 3 days?" But he still denied copying, demanding that Jun Hang produce evidence. So that night, Jun Hang's group stayed up late compiling all the documents, from the initial steps to the final testing data of the bracelet, and sent them to the competition judges. This was the best evidence. A few days later, everyone was nervously waiting for news. After receiving a call, Jun Hang sighed in relief. He announced that they had succeeded. The whole group cheered happily for their victory. They also didn't forget to send off the defeated Shen Bengwu. The startup competition finally ended. Lin Ji congratulated Junhang, saying that he was one step closer to success. Junhang also thanked his friends for always being there for him. Quickly, graduation day arrived. Everyone except Lin Ji had already graduated from college. Before saying goodbye, they all had a meal together. After today, they would each go their separate ways. After graduation, Junhang founded the Kexing Jingzhou Technology Company. Jinang brought gifts and wished them well on behalf of the Dongmen squad. He also said that he wanted to start a business with them. Of course, Junhang and Lin Ji were very welcoming. 2 more years passed. Junhang's company was operating stably and successfully. Lin Ji was working as a medical resident. Today was Lin Ji's birthday. Junhang went to pick her up and take her home to eat cake. But as soon as she got home, Lin Ji fell fast asleep on the sofa. Junhang sat on the side, looking at her dreamy appearance, feeling heartbroken. The life of a medical student was so busy. One day, the Dongmen squad received an invitation to a reunion of former students at their high school. Lin Ji asked the group on their chat if they were going. They all made excuses and said they couldn't make it. Lin Ji originally didn't want to go, but they stopped her, wanting her to represent the group and go back for a trip. On the day of the alumni reunion, Junhang and Lin Ji entered the school and found that many things had changed. They stood on the rooftop and couldn't help but remember their first encounter. Lin Ji wondered why there was no atmosphere for the activity, when suddenly many balloons tied with flowers flew into the sky. She felt this moment was a little familiar, but Junhang just smiled without saying anything. Then, they went down the stairs. Lin Ji looked at the stars hanging on both sides of the stairs and asked if Junhang had made them. At this time, Junhang admitted that he was the organizer of this school activity. Then, he took Lin Ji into the classroom and said that he had prepared a special quiz for her on the computer. Lin Ji found that the questions were all related to their memories, and there were also many animated scenes of them being close. It was a delightful surprise. After Lin Ji finished answering, Junhang took out a fox blindfold and put it on her. He led her to the middle of the classroom and went outside. Then, her classmates came in one by one, carrying their books. When Lin Ji took off the blindfold, she saw her classmates sitting in the classroom in their school uniforms. She was very surprised. The scene was exactly the same as their beautiful high school days. While she was wondering where Junhang was, he walked into the classroom holding a large bouquet of roses. He gave the flowers to Lin Ji and then got down on one knee and proposed to her. Lin Ji was both surprised and happy. She shouted, "I do." At the wedding, Qin Kai drove up in his sleek car, showing off. He asked Junhang if he dared to invite him to be the best man. Wasn't he afraid that he'd steal the bride? Then he reminded Junhang to treat Lin Ji well. If he didn't, he'd be in trouble. After the wedding ended, Jinong and the others wanted to go to the newlyweds' room to cause some trouble. But when they got there, they found that the couple had run away. Meanwhile, the newlyweds were on a road trip in an RV. The next morning, Lin Ji realized that this was the place where they watched the sunrise together. She was very excited. Junhang hugged her and asked her where she wanted to go next. Lin Ji said, "As long as I have you, anywhere is fine." A few years later, Junhang woke up and was about to kiss his wife when his son ran in and told him to wake up. Then, the 3 of them brushed their teeth in the bathroom. Lin Ji saw Zhang Yimian showing off the diamond ring that Jinang had given her. It was the size of a dove's egg. She said to her husband, "I want one too." So Junhang stole his son's dove's egg and gave it to her to eat. Immediately, his son chased him around the house. The family of 3 laughed happily. At this time, Lin Ji saw fireworks outside the window. She quickly called her husband and son over to count down. The 3 of them happily said their New Year's greetings. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. That way we can be motivated to make more great videos. See you in the next video.